Hey there, everyone. Today we're talking about Plumber SEO 2023, the marketing Goldilocks zone. I'm Nolen. This is Jason with Plumbing Webmasters, and we'll jump right into it. So I'm going to quote something that I said earlier. People ask if SEO is dead, and I'd like to suggest that no, you're just dead if you don't figure out SEO.
Right.
So SEO hadn't gone anywhere at all. It's just that the algorithm does a lot better job of tracking your branded signaling than it used to.
Yeah.
And
last year's SEO is dead because every year it changes.
Right. Yeah. So you can absolutely affect your ability to get up in ranking by providing quality signaling to Google and deserving to show up in ranking. Most people just give up and don't. They make up excuses or some reason why they can't get up there, but everybody can fight to get up in ranking. And frankly, so few people try, in my opinion, or get a quality service like Plumbing Webmasters or Data Pins that you can get up in ranking. So let's talk about it, because I think there's a lot of confusion. I'd like to talk about content and just and what we're talking about, the Goldilocks zone. I think content's a good way to talk about it, or so someone understands it. And we'll talk about branded signaling so that someone can understand what they need to be doing. So content's always something someone talks about. In 2022, we had launched the Google Helpful Content Update, and it's a hard one.
You've gotten it correct two episodes in a row.
So Google Helpful Content Update went out. It basically, and they always name it some weird name, but it sounds helpful. But basically what it did was, you'd better provide helpful content or we'll chop your arms off. So if you're going to continue to put out crap that's meant for the algorithm to rank you higher, then you're going to lose.
Right.
So they put out this, and it essentially means that the content needs to be written for the user. And we would argue, for a plumber, nobody wants to read your blogs. You might have like 2 or 3 just for some pages to have some diversity and linking on the site. But beyond that, you don't want to be writing blogs.
Or if something happens or changes in your industry where
corporate,
there is actually something to talk about that is helpful for your users to know, that somebody hasn't talked about 1,000 times already,
right?
Then go ahead. But part of the problem with blogging is it's just repetitive nonsense most of the time, especially when you're talking about local services. How many blogs can you write about unclogging a drain?
Well, the blogs are always written because there's 2 reasons blogs are written. Owner wants to see the web design company doing something, the digital marketing agency. That's one of the only things they can visually see.
Yeah, what are you doing every
month?
do you
do for me? Oh, we write a blog each week.
Yeah.
And then the other reason is, well, we need to give stuff to Google so that they'll show us in our market. 3 reasons to check your plumbing, whatever dumb blog it is. So if you're having blogging regularly done, 99-point-something% of blogging for a plumber is trash.
Yeah.
What that means is, if you have like 100 blogs or more, you're going to get a penalty nowadays. It doesn't mean that content's bad, though. AI content is bad. Artificial content is bad.
And by the way, Google can spot it. Even if you can't, you can have some AI spit out some content, you read through it and say, wow, that reads great. That's just like a person wrote it.
Yeah.
Google can spot it.
So there's actually sites to go to tell whether Google can see it or not.
Yeah. I have a colleague that doesn't work for us, used to, Ashley.
Okay.
And I was telling her about stuff about AI content that we discovered. And she was like, well, produced by one. So I sent her one of the content generators and I said, you can use this one and do this. And she had some stuff put up. She goes, I don't know, this looks really good to me. I don't see how it could be detected. Right. So I sent her the content detector and she was like, how is it doing this? And this is a smart person. This person used to be our editor and head of content. She knows what she's talking about. But it's easy to be fooled for a person, but Google can spot it.
So just to be clear, if you have AI content or copied content, you will carry a penalty and won't show up well.
Yeah.
If you have a bunch of crappy blogs, you will. Does that mean content's bad? No.
No.
You need
bad
content.
Content's bad.
Bad content's bad. Content written for Google's bad. Content trying to game the system and show up. So Goldilocks zone, obviously, too little, too much, just right.
Right.
So you can't have too little and have no content. Hey, you can't go too much and have too much content or AI generated or copied content. It's got to be just right. It's got to be about your services. It's got to be maybe a couple of cities, but not too much. And then you've got to add great signaling to it, but not fake signaling. So you don't want links out of the country. You don't want to slam in junk into the site.
Right.
But you do need to say, hey, we're doing jobs on this part of town. We're getting reviews. We're making changes to interior pages. We're dropping GPS coordinates where we do things. We're updating our Google account. We're getting some citations, legitimate things that show you raising your hand around town so that your branded signaling gets recognized as one of the best user experiences to send a Google searcher. So if you can do that, you can show up in ranking, but it's a sensitive thing because the algorithm's smart enough to know whether you don't care, whether you're apathetic, whether you're overboard and cheating them and trying to slam in stuff, whether you've gotten 2 websites or 3 phony addresses and you're tying all this trash together.
Yeah.
Or you just let your crap sit and hope that it works and they don't know if you're in business or not, or even if you are and they think you are. It's a moderately poor user experience, or at least your competitor has a better user experience.
Right. I have calls with, especially a lot of times with newer clients, and I'll give them this. They're trying to do something, they're trying to take it to the next level or whatever.
Right.
And they'll have read a blog or something somewhere about, oh, you should do this. And often it's usually like 10 years old or something like that. And say, well, what if we got a bunch of, what if I have all my friends let me use their home address to add to my Google business profile? And it's like, yeah, don't do that. And they get, a lot of times they'll get very irate with me when I'm telling them, no, that won't work. Well, how's Google going to know? How are they going to know? How are they going to know?
Yeah.
And my answer is always, they know what you had for breakfast in 2017 on the second Tuesday in August. They know everything. They will figure it out. So stop trying to.
We're actually to that point now. Nolen Walker here for Data Pins. You may not know, but I own a software company and we have a proprietary software called Data Pins, DATAPINS. You can search it at datapins.com. This is not white labeled. I actually own this piece of software and I made it for you. It was made for contractors. You can actually take pictures of jobs up to 6, make a caption about the material, the brand, the situation, the repairs, and post that back to your individual pages on your website, just like that. It's super simple. Anyone could use it. It also texts and emails your clients direct links to your reviews, so it helps reputation and reviews, which helps conversion and map placement. The geo coordinate gets grabbed by Data Pins, and Google can tell where you are. So instead of them just seeing reviews, they see all jobs or even estimates that you do. This vastly outperforms just getting reviews. Helps the map show up, helps organic keywords. And remember, those captions that you're putting in there help expand the keywords per page, and it's great regular content. I love it. We made it just for you. It is organic optimization on steroids for both your website, your rankings, and the map placement. Check out Data Pins. I think you'll be happy you did. If you want to show up online, things can be, you can show up online. You just have to be serious about it.
Right.
You can't cheat or tell somebody, and we do tons of the work for the client. I'd say that we do about 80% of the work.
Yeah.
So we still do most of it. We write code and content and URL structuring and changes and updates, and we have software and all this stuff goes on, linking and domain authority and speed and SSL certificates and citations and all those things. But you have to participate a little bit.
Yeah.
And you need to be consciously aware enough to know that you need professional services that are ongoing. They check your signaling daily. Constantly. And then they compare it to your competitors. And if you're doing one thing like linking only to a really poor quality website, or have a high quality website and do some reviews, these aren't enough things to show up in ranking because other people are doing stuff that makes them feel comfortable. They're raising their hand all over town, showing pictures of jobs, putting in captions, getting reviews, making changes, making sure their website's up to date, changes to individual pages. direct traffic from BBB or Facebook. I mean, there's all from their GBP. There's all sorts of little things. Direct search, branded search.
Yeah, there's like a million moving parts. I've been making this point with clients when I'm discussing their current site performance.
Yeah.
Because one of the metrics we use is we go to Google Search Console, which shows us how many keywords are tracked for and what position they showed up in search in the previous month, right?
Right.
And a lot of times the client is saying, I'm saying, oh, well, you had so-and-so number of impressions in the number one position, meaning number one organic, for this primary keyword. That's awesome. And then, so that's my rank. I said, well, it was your rank 20 times this past month when someone did it. And I have to explain to them that you don't have a set rank for anything. Every time someone searches a term, you are ranked at that moment for that term. They put in 1,000, 1,000,000, however many it is, variables, and decide where to rank you at that moment. They don't rank you for the day, and then for that day you have it, or even for the month or whatever, and that's what you have. It's literally every time search is used, a new rank is determined. Millions or billions of times a day this takes place.
Right. It's crazy to think about it, but it's true.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be dominant online, I use this example, you're not going to stop marketing or figuring this out ever. So you need a professional service like Plumbing Webmasters and Data Pens. You've got to have that kind of help. And you'll stop marketing in the perfect manner, as close as you can get to the perfect manner, when you are retired and done.
Yeah.
And not a day before. As soon as you stop, then the digital signaling slows down. Things begin to break. You have broken code on your website. You don't have any schema or proper schema. You stopped doing GPS signaling. You stopped doing as many reviews. You stopped redesigning the website. You stopped making changes to the pages. You stopped updating plugins. You stopped advertising. You stopped getting branded search. Like if any of that happens, or any portion of that happens, you simply stop ranking as well.
Yeah. And it doesn't always happen immediately, because a lot of times there is momentum in ranking, both up and down. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes you'll decide to stop this stuff and it'll seem like you're doing fine for a while, and you pat yourself on the back saying, hey, I got rid of that marketing company. I made the right decision because my rank's still going up. But it will end, and it won't take long.
I just checked somebody not too long ago. They were doing $10 million a year in business. They had a 20% reduction in organic
I think I know
traffic.
who you're talking about. Yeah,
$2 million in traffic just on the organic side gone.
Yeah,
that was, well, let me rephrase that. Their entire marketing was organic.
Yeah.
So $2 million gone. And I will guarantee you that this is the crux of the plumber, the individual business owner. You better figure this stuff out and make sure enough of it and at least have respect for the process that I'm a plumber, and I know that I'm being digitally watched on Google for my branded search. And I know that is going to directly correlate to my comparison with other plumbers in town. And that's how I'm going to show up in ranking. And I further attest that if I want to show up in ranking, I will pay heed to this. And I will absolutely make sure I've got great branded signaling.
Right.
I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to be apathetic or lazy. I'm going to hit it in the sweet spot just right, as much as I can, to the best of my ability, by getting a great digital marketing agency to help me. And I'm going to be serious on my end. I'm not going to throw my fingers in my ears or just kick the dog because I can't figure it out. I'm going to work on it a little bit. I'm going to be rational and reasonable and put a little bit of effort towards it. And money, somebody wants a little bit of money. A little bit of money. We're a good deal, but we're as good a deal as you're going to find to do all this stuff, hands down. Yeah. I said this on another podcast, but you need a great website, great content, structured, managed, worked on regularly. You need something like Data Pens integrated, and you need to signal, and we do all of that here. And I don't know of anyone else that does it. And if anybody even gets close to anything that we do without proprietary software, I might add, they cost twice as much. Term agreements, money down.
Or more.
More. We do it that way because we've done it for years. We help clients and they stay for a long time. That's how we earn money.
Yeah.
But guys, with Google helpful content, AI generated content, all this crud going on out there, people not having things like data pins, which is absolutely necessary for enough digital signaling to come through. That's quality and not cheating, by the way. We can get into that later. If you haven't watched something on data pins, watch it, because or go to datapins.com, datapins.com. It is a type of signaling and content that is mind-boggling if it gets put to use.
Right. It's very easy to use, and we've gone over this, but it hits SEO from multiple directions. Every pin signals Google in like 10 different ways that are extremely effective.
Yeah. Instead of somebody having 100 reviews and they worked their butts off, they got 1,000 pins. Google sees all 1,000 jobs. All jobs become a signal to Google, even if the client didn't leave a review.
I actually had a conversation with a new client earlier today, where he was asking about, he launched less than a month ago. He's doing pins. He's doing good. He was asking me about reviews. I said, ask everybody. But if you get 1 out of 10 actually do a review, that's amazing, because most of the time you can't even get that. I said, that's one of the reasons we built data pins, was to put something in your control.
The digital
because
signal.
You can ask for a review from every customer, but most of them won't give you one. Most of them just don't bother.
Sweet old lady won't give you a review.
Yeah, the nicest old lady will say she's going to do it and lie to your face. She doesn't mean to be lying to your face. She thinks she's going to do it, but she's not going to do it.
Nolen Walker here with Plumbing Webmasters. I'd like for you to consider becoming a client. We have a lot of great people that work here at the company. We help hundreds of clients. We've done this for 12 years now. We help clients dominate online. We're a digital marketing agency. I honestly don't think there's anyone better than us at this point in time. We'll help you with your design, your code, your content. We'll help you rank on Google Maps. We'll help you reputation reviews organically. We even have proprietary software that I own in a different company called Data Pins, DATAPINS. Data Pins allows you to post pictures of jobs with captions and geo coordinates right onto the website. It'll take 90 seconds. A 12-year-old could use it, but you'll be able to post daily and get daily activity, great content. It even posts it back to your Google account. It even texts and emails the client. So one simple thing where you pick a couple of photos you took, wrote a caption, put in the client's cell phone number and hit pin, and boom. And then that is in addition to all the other things that we do for you for SEO. We can also help with paid ads and other things too. But man, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call. You can check us out at plumbingwebmasters.com.
So Goldilocks zone is doing everything right. I had another thought on this. Spam used to be, I don't know, there's still spam, but spam was a deviation from the norm, basically. Yeah. So originally back in the days, if you had spam on a website, it was a broad word for anything that was kind of triggered the algorithm to think that you did something wrong. And the trigger typically was too much.
Yeah.
If it was too little, again, it was the Goldilocks zone stuff. It wouldn't even register. If it was too much, it was like back in the day, if everybody's doing 2.5% keyword saturation for plumber in Dallas TX, then you were 6%.
Yeah.
And that was spam.
And hell, even 4% would be spam.
Yeah. So it was a deviation from the norm. If the average H1 tag was 3 words and you had a 8-word H1 on average because you're plugging in keywords, that was spam.
Yeah.
And so it's not too little, it's not too much, it's just right. They've just gotten a hell of a lot better at the Goldilocks zone. It's always kind of been that way, but it used to be on a hardcore thought process of spam. It's now on a hardcore thought process of your company's branded signaling.
Right.
That is
it used to all be based around this idea of the keyword. Mm-hmm. And
the link.
The link, the keyword, and now they've pulled back from them and they're seeing everything holistically as a whole object.
And they view it from the lens of a good client user experience,
right.
Google's client. That signaling and that user experience. I'll say one other thing too, guys, in case you don't know. If you don't have a page for shutoff valve, or a page for tankless, or a page for leak detection or camera line scoping, you're not going to show up for that. Google does not guess. So the
Right.
algorithm's not guessing all these things.
They don't know you want to show up for that unless you put the content in there to show them that you're supposed to show up for that.
And it can't be done in a way that's gaming them. It's got to be a clean, quality page of content that hopefully gets GPS signaled and pinned and with unique captions about different things, like just replaced a Rinnai tankless water heater. Now they know you work on Rinnai tankless water heaters, or now they know you work on a ice maker shutoff valve, not just a shutoff valve. So you add and expand, and the act of doing all this becomes some sort of perfect branded signaling that helps everything show up in ranking. And you're so far away from black hat SEO or cheating, that I don't even know how they wouldn't like the stuff that's done here.
And we have the data to prove that they do like the stuff.
Yeah.
When it's done the way we suggest, and no cheating or shortcuts are involved, because occasionally someone will try to do that with their data pins.
So I know that this sounds crazy, but our average client will have hundreds and hundreds of % increase, and they'll have hundreds, if not thousands, many times, thousands and thousands of keywords added.
Right.
So if they do this properly, you can show up, it can be just right. And being in the Goldilocks zone means you're the most aggressive one, the smartest one. The guy who's overly aggressive and trying to take it too much, to go too far, he gets caught in poor user experience spam filters, just basically breaking the algorithm and the AI algorithm, saying, we're not going to put this crud up because
they'll slap you down.
You're trying to get away with stuff.
And when you're the person that doesn't do enough, they just ignore you.
So the most aggressive plumber can still get it done. They just got to call us.
Yeah.
They can't strong arm a bunch of web geeks that say yes sir and go throw out 100 blogs that are AI generated content and slop up stuff.
Yeah.
And then the guy doesn't know what happened. But that's what's changed. Can't catch it.
And just word of caution about AI content: if you go to somebody and you hire them and they're going to do a bunch of blogging or add a bunch of content to your site, if their rates are like incredibly low and you're thinking, what a deal I got, and they add 100 pages to your site in like 2 weeks, that's AI content, because there's no other way to produce it that fast.
I just had a guy, I can't remember the name of the company, but he had about a 350-page site launched 2 weeks ago. Only 9 pages had been indexed, had about 300 cities. They were all straight dupes.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, I was talking to this guy, I'll tell this story. I was like, this is funny, and then we'll wrap it up. But I was talking to him. I said, well, this is a really bad website, And I'm like, and
it's really large and really terrible.
I was like, yeah, it's really large and terrible. I said, the good news, it just happened, but they've already gone through all of it. Now you're going to have to take 60 days to get it to re-spider a proper website. And I told him what we charged. And I said, well, what did you pay for this? And he said, well, I paid $500 for it. And I was like, and I laughed, and I'm like, where's this guy live in? Like, some third world country I've never heard of before, and he's like, no, he's out of Dallas, Texas. We're out of Fort Worth. I was like, is he in a slum eating ramen noodles?
Does he live under a bridge?
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I was like, this is a 350-page website. Did you think that he could have done that for $500? I said, don't even try to say that it was good money spent. I said, this poor sucker is living in a roach-infested, hotel somewhere or apartment under a bridge eating ramen noodles. I said, you feel bad for him at all? And I'm like, you've got to get rid of the website. I was like, I said, listen, this may take a day for all this to sink in for you, but Google has now fingered you as like a spam provider. I said, I'm going to tell you how to do this. Go site:/www. Type your URL into Google and go look at the fact that they've only decided to cache and copy 9 of your pages.
9 of 400
That means
pages
that they know the rest of it is complete crap, and they're angry at you, by the way. And you want to show up in ranking. And I said, all the copies, the pages are copied. He said, well, how do I see this? I said, just go look at 2 city pages and read the first word of each paragraph. They are identical. And this poor guy.
With the city name substituted.
Yeah, and he laughed a little bit. I said, look, man, I was like, this stuff, and it's like, you've got to come to grips with the fact that people, this is a good one for this, but that Google's judging stuff, Other people have decided to be more savvy than you and frankly treat another human being better by paying them a living wage. And seriously,
Yeah.
I was like, but either way you shake it, if you paid that for it, what did you think was going to happen? And I said, in fairness, in this industry that we're in, you could pay big money and still not get something good done.
The same thing that's the sad part, is he could have paid 10 grand and the same thing could have happened to him.
He said, oh, he's not done with it yet. And I said, oh, let's not let you go there. I said, you don't get to say that maybe you didn't just step in a turd here, that this poor guy's working on it. He already put up the duplicate content pages. Google already spidered your site. He couldn't possibly do anything. And I said, between me and you, do you think that he can enter into 350 pages and write unique content for all of them for $500? And he's like, I said, and he went silent. I said, I'm going to answer the question since you're not speaking. The answer is a resounding no.
How much work would you do for $500?
He said, well, he's a nice guy. And I was like, who cares? I said, and I said, to be clear, he didn't do anything wrong, because it's your job to research a little bit and realize that you can't have this done for that. And he actually gave you a lot for that, but the only thing you can really get for $500 is complete crap that it won't optimize anyway, or a big pile of spam like you got.
Yeah.
So you got what you paid for, but you were always going to get what you paid for on this. I said, we're a monthly fee that'll do it properly. I said, but you just like completely trashed out your web effort. I said, the good news is the content portion of spam with Google is corrected pretty quickly. I did tell him the 60 days for caching.
Yeah.
I said, but I don't know that they're going to have to uncache since it was already CRUD, but they're aware of it. And I'm not sure how it's archived in their system. They definitely have you flagged as for now, but when they see the new...
Yeah, they'll be cautious with him, even if he corrects everything.
But I said, that's why I think it'll take 60 days here. I said, you already have a penalty.
Yeah.
So I think in 60 days it'll be corrected, and then you'll be able to write the course and go forward. But luckily it's not links or other stuff. You just got a really bad website. The sooner you get it down, the better. It's like, oh my God, I didn't realize what had happened. I paid this guy.
$500.
We'll write 400 pages for ramen noodles and $500.
No, that guy did that 10 times that week with an AI content generator.
Yeah, actually,
He's got a button that he presses and it spits out a website.
It's worse than that, because I actually put it onto Copyscape, and I said, this poor guy, and I said, he didn't do anything. I said, he might have done something wrong, but you did something worse. You paid a human being $500 for a 350-page website. But I said, I typed this into copyscape.com, and you can see all the websites that he's already used this on.
So he
it's the
duped
same
it from
exact web. No, it's not. You gave him credit.
He didn't even press a button for AI.
He didn't even press it.
Control C, Control P.
Copy. Replace Dallas with Houston.
Wow.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
It was a straight dupe crap site.
Like I said, that guy didn't do anything wrong, because what he did is he identified a market of people that didn't want to pay any money for websites, and he gave them exactly what they paid
He's
for.
a real nice guy. It's the famous last words before you're never to be found again on search engine. I was like, I hear it all the time. Oh, she's a real nice girl. He's a real nice guy. Well, it's my niece. Well, it's my daughter. It's this, it's that,
Yeah. It's like, I don't care.
All right, guys. I am spent, but I'm ready to be of service. It is a new year, by the way.
Yep.
We have not done anything different except to continue to innovate and come up with stuff. Software is banging. Resources are banging. We've done this forever. You need someone on your side. We'd love to make the phone ring daily for you. If you don't dominate on Google at this point in time, it has always been, probably always will be, but either way you shake it, some sort of organic search where you don't pay for the click is going to be the least expensive, best lead you can get.
For the foreseeable future.
For the foreseeable future, it's on branding of your company to show up in map ranking, reputation reviews, and keyword website rankings. And that has always been the best thing, and probably will be for umpteen years. We'd love to help you. You got questions, call us. Look forward to being of service. Like and subscribe, please. It'll help out. We'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy.